Hello, all you beautiful souls. I hope you're having a great day so far. First off, I need to give a really big shout out to Angie of Gingerbirch because she shared that I was going live here, I think a couple minutes ago or earlier this morning. And it was just one of those mornings where I forgot I was going live. And so I had about 10 minutes, I think, to realign with what I wanted to share with you guys and get in that space. Thank goodness I was already dressed and ready and changed, but thanks, Angie, for having my back unknowingly. Sometimes, man, we just think that we've got our life together and the universe just loves to throw us a little reminder that you don't always have that. So we are here and I am so excited to share kind of my thoughts on how to choose a wedding venue and a location from the heart in a way that's going to make you feel super aligned and really, really excited to get ready for your wedding day. I'm going to give everybody a couple seconds just to pop on. I know sometimes there's a little bit of a delay with Facebook. If you are watching right now, go ahead and let me know in the comments either if you've already gotten married and if you did, where your venue was, or if you are currently searching and what kind of a venue you think you're looking for. And I'm going to share some thoughts for both people that are looking to elope as well as that little bit more traditional wedding route. So if you've been following along on this kind of wedding tip series, the vision that I really want to share with all of you is there is so much beauty and so much authenticity in truly creating the wedding journey and the wedding vision that we want and that our soul and our insides are telling us that we want and that we deserve. I think that there can be some pressure and some stress to create a wedding that's for other people. That's just kind of like, well, this is what my family's always done. And if that's out of alignment, then that's where we can have some kind of unrest and that inner unhappiness. But that doesn't mean that you can't do that. There are some people that are super lit up about, I'm getting married in the church that the past 5 generations of my family have gotten married in. That is all great. There are no right or wrongs here. My intention is for you guys to just really look at your wedding journey and just really listen to that voice inside that's telling you what it wants and what you deserve for your wedding day. So we're going to do that exact same practice and mentality when it comes to choosing a wedding venue. So if you've seen the past few videos, then you know that I've talked about choosing a date and just your overall wedding vision. So this is just another division of that. So when we're choosing a venue or a location, the first place to start is where do we want this to happen? And what I mean by that is like the location, like the city, the state, the country. For people that are looking to elope, maybe you're looking for an elopement in your city, in your home state. Maybe you're looking for something a little bit more destination. For a little bit more traditional wedding route, you could still be doing a destination spot. Maybe you're doing something local. So think about what's going to resonate the most with you. And with that, I would also consider your guest list. And that can be another point of contention sometimes, but with the guest list, I invite you, no pun intended, maybe, to think about the people that you want to surround yourself with on your wedding day that are just going to celebrate you so hard for having found this love, being in this relationship, the ones that you really want to have around you that are just going to lift you up and you're going to be so excited to see them. Some people that looks like a list of 25, some people that's a list of 250. So just, again, go with your gut, go with what feels really, really great to you. But I think those kind of go hand in hand when you're thinking about the location, the actual like city, state, country to get married in, and who you're going to be bringing with you or inviting. Once you know in your heart and soul that I'm aligned with this is the place that I want to get married in, and sometimes it's 2 options. When Andy and I started wedding planning, we were thinking, do we want to do an elopement somewhere a little bit more destination that kind of feeds into our adventurous side? But when we looked at it with our guest list and who we really wanted to have around us, we just knew that there were some family members that wouldn't be able to make the trip for where we'd wanted to go. So our compromise that we were both just still lit up about was we did 2 destination engagement sessions, and then we're getting married in our hometown. And that still feels super aligned to us. That feels really great. We don't feel like we sacrificed anything by making that decision. And we also know too that to feed our adventurous side, we can always do, a destination, a vow renewal or something like that. Miss Bella is coming to say hi to everybody this morning. So once you are aligned with, maybe the 1 to 2 locations that you're considering, from there, think about the type of venue that you would like to get married at. Do you want to be married outside? Do you want to be married in a church? Do you want to be married in, a brewery? We're getting married at a brewery or a vineyard. Think about what is going to resonate the most for you and your fiance and your relationship. What is reflective of that? How you two like to spend your time? What's really important to you? If somebody is really faith-based, it probably is very important to them to get married in a church of some sort. For somebody who may be maybe a little bit non-denominational, or they have another location that means a lot to them, that could be, an alternative spot. For us, we knew that we wanted the ceremony and reception in one place that would be a little bit more convenient for our guests and a little bit easier day, which I'm going to touch on as well. And we knew that we wanted our pups in the ceremony. So when I have the advantage, of course, of being in the wedding industry and seeing a lot of wedding venues in the area. And I knew that there were about 2 or 3 that were going to be dog friendly, because we have to have these little faces in our wedding. So that was what was important to us, was for everything to be all in one spot. We wanted outside. That's very important to us. We're very connected with nature, and we wanted these little furry creatures to be able to be a part of that. And we just happened to find Badger State Brewing Company, which we're beer nerds, so that worked out really well for us. So that's how we went through kind of a heart-centered approach to finding our venue. So think about what type of venue is going to really have you excited to get married there, and that you can visualize it, you can feel it, you can taste it. When you have those emotions and that excitement, that's probably a clue that you've picked the right spot, or have a couple that you're considering that would be a really great fit. Like I touched on, when you're thinking about a wedding venue, I would also consider what my guest's experience is going to be like if I'm choosing to have guests. If you are doing an elopement, maybe it's an adventure elopement, maybe it's a destination elopement, think about how your guests will arrive. If you're thinking about doing an adventure elopement, on top of a mountain, will the guests that you're inviting, maybe it's just your parents, your grandparents, and your siblings, is grandma going to be able to, make it to the top of that mountain after the 6-mile hike? Or would you want to do your ceremony privately and then celebrate with these family members, at an intimate dinner afterwards, or have a private meal catered dinner, that kind of a thing? If you're doing a little bit more like traditional wedding route or something local to you, think about how the guests are going to get from point A to point B. Is there a lot of time that it's going to require? If you get married someplace, an hour away from where your reception venue is and that kind of a thing, that can also affect your wedding day timeline. So many vendors will base their coverage on hourly coverage, so that could affect that. There could be some more costs with that, but that's a different topic in itself. When we're thinking about how our guests are going to interact with us on our wedding day, we're choosing to have them there for a reason. So I always invite couples to kind of be cognizant of that. While I do think it's still important to align with whatever feels really great for the two of you, it's also very loving and courteous to think about how our guests are going to be feeling, acting, thinking on that day as well. Another point with guest experience for when we're considering the venue, is it close to hotels? Is there enough parking for our guests? Do we need to share tips and tricks with them on like where to park, or maybe have a shuttle service for them? If you're looking at having a ceremony one place and a reception for the other, just making sure that everyone knows how to get there, making sure that there's ample time between when the ceremony ends and when the cocktail hour starts. Or if there is a large gap, maybe providing other things to do and ideas for the guests in between. For us, like I said, we're getting married at Badger State. We have everything pretty much stacked back to back. But if we were having our ceremony earlier in the day, I could recommend to them to go take a stadium tour at Lambeau, or go brewery hopping, or maybe they go mini golfing, that kind of a thing. So really just thinking about how your guests will be interacting with you on that day and how that affects your venue choice and just kind of what's around there. I still would highly encourage you to really go with what feels aligned and centered for you when you choose that venue, and then just providing options for your guests, and just kind of putting ourselves in their shoes and thinking about how they'll be acting and feeling that day. And then finally, once we're narrowed down with, I know the city, state, or country that I want to get married in, I know the type of venue or venues if you're having two different locations, I know who I want around me and how they're going to affect my day and how they're going to pump me up and have me feel excited, and I know what their experience is going to be like on the wedding day, then I would also look at what's included with the venue. I don't mean that as like an afterthought, because I think that's super important to consider when we're looking at a venue. Some venues will include, chairs, tables, or getting ready space. Some don't have that at all. So then we have to bring that in and rent that from a different company. Some people have a coordinator on site. Some people don't. If you're doing a little bit more of like an adventure elopement, many times you'd have to bring in whatever you're looking for, whether that's a ceremony backdrop or maybe it's a Bluetooth speaker for your ceremony music and that kind of a thing. Maybe it's transportation up the mountain. If you're doing a destination wedding as far as like an all-inclusive resort, just looking at what is actually included in that contract. We just got back from Jamaica for a destination wedding for a beautiful couple. And one of the things that she was considering was, do we do an organized dinner where everybody sits with us and we have this together? Or since we're at an all-inclusive and their food is included, do we just let them go eat wherever they'd like to, and then we get the experience that we want, me talking as the couple, which is they went to their room and they got room service. And they just got to hang out on their balcony. They got to look out on the ocean because we were in Jamaica. And they just had really great conversations. And they had, special food delivered for them. And they did that because they looked at what was included in that destination package. So just asking kind of all of those questions. I always encourage doing as much of a kind of one-stop shop as you can, because then that's less vendors that you have to keep track of. I am a spreadsheet queen, so I see Alton, who is our DJ, is watching. So I've just got everything listed out of who we are working with, contact information, what deposits we've paid. So I am not worried about keeping track of my vendors, but I know that there can be so many different ideas and teams that we are bringing together to make this day execute successfully. And that can sometimes be overwhelming. So when we go with a little bit more of a one-stop shop, or we use somebody's vendor list that they've already vetted these people and we kind of get to trust the experiences that they've had, that can make that a little bit easier for us too. I think that's everything that I can think of as far as choosing a venue. So just to recap, to start, we really want to be aligned with what our wedding vision is, how we want to feel, and from that, we're going to look at what location we want to get married in. So the city, the state, the country, whatever is going to really just light you up and have this be the best freaking day ever. From there, think about the type of venue that you want to get married at. Is it outside? Is it a church? Is everything all in one? Is it separate? Do you go on a hike? Think about what's going to feel really great for you there. And with that, consider your guest list. Think about who you want around you. Are they going to be able to make this day happen? Think about who is the most priority for you. And then think about what their guest experience will be like. Just keeping in mind if you have to share hotel ideas, things to do in between, making sure that everybody is fed, especially you guys too. And then from there, considering what is included with the venue. So if they have tables, chairs, or a coordinator, what you need to bring in, if they have any all-inclusive packages, that kind of thing. And then from there, just before you sign the contract, talk it over with your fiance. Just make sure, take a deep breath and say, does this feel really great? Are we excited about this? Is this how we want to remember one of the best days of our lives? Is it in this space? Can we see this happening? And just make sure that you're really both on the same page and that you're just going to be in love with it the whole way through. Because there are so many stories that we hear of couples, sharing, oh, my wedding day was great, but I kind of did this when I didn't really want to, or yeah, it was nice. I wish I would have done this. And our intention is to make sure that you don't have that and you get to walk away saying, it was the best freaking day ever. We had everything that we wanted and more, and we had so much love that we celebrated. If you have any questions on choosing a venue, if you have any questions on area venues, or you're getting married outside of the Wisconsin area and you just wanted to send something over and be like, hey, what do you think? Please feel free. I know that it can be somewhat confusing looking at what's included and timing things out between ceremony and reception spaces and that kind of a thing. So I am here as a resource for you. I know that we are in the heart of engagement season right now, so many people have started their wedding planning, and oftentimes choosing that venue is the first thing on your list after choosing a date. So please feel free to reach out. My personal email is kate@clemstudios.com, and I would love to serve you. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.